I would like to tell you that during law school, things that I did and things you must do, you may take a note of it. I'll tell you 8 or 10 things which all of you must mandatorily get into. And the most important exercise is CV building. From day one, you must understand, and even for people who are in fourth year and fifth year, I'm saying so, that even if your CV is in a bad shape today, only focus of yours must be on building a good CV. At the end of the day, whenever you apply for a job, whenever you go for a conference, whenever you, even if you are invited as a speaker like I have been, the first thing they're going to ask you is please share your CV. And if your CV, most of you, I'm sure, may not have even prepared a decent CV, and some of you may not have even updated it. The idea is to work on your CV every day. It took me 6.5 years to make a good CV. After my law school was over, I changed 40-50 formats. Every month I used to try a different thing because CV should be short, it should highlight all your skills. But what to write in your CV? You can't be writing things you did in school. You have to achieve something, you have to get on, and you must have something during the law school. It cannot be that when I look at your CV, I see that when I was in 12th class, I was doing this into sports, etc., etc. It's all not relevant. So I think the earlier you realize what you want to do in life, for instance, some of you may want to go for criminal law. Some of you may want to become an academician. I'm just briefly telling you, some of you may want to become a practicing lawyer. And in that too, there are various fields like corporate law, criminal law, civil law, property law, banking, finance, mergers and acquisition in corporate law, NCLT, IBC. So it's very, very, very vast. And I, for instance, my expertise is in arbitration, though I do almost all kind of matters. But you need to understand that what is my area of interest, and then you pursue that passion. It should not be that somebody is forcing it on you that you do this subject, you pursue this subject. Today, nobody can tell me, Tariq, you do criminal law. I'm not interested in criminal law as such. My area of interest is commercial law, and I'll pursue it. So the idea is not to look at others as to what they are doing. Believe in the subject which you like, you are passionate about, pursue that. And since law school, if you are able to make that decision, which I know is very difficult, till the final year, we are very confused. So these 10 things I will tell you, and then you will understand what I'm trying to hint at. So the first activity, which I think in law school you must do, is the most important for your CV as well as for your law school, is internships. Internships will give you that kind of practical exposure which you will never ever get in the law school. You can only read books in the law school, but the practical aspects of the implementation of that law you will only learn in the courts and when you work with a lawyer who is dealing with a particular area of law. So that's, I think, the most important thing for law students to understand. The second thing is networking, which is going to help you all your life. And it is the second most important thing that you can do when you're in law school. So this networking may be in conferences and webinars, seminars, and when you go for events, when you go to other colleges for events, you interact with people, you make friends. When you are going for a moot court, you get in touch with the judges who came there. So be confident and try to build your own network. By the end of fifth year, you should have a decent network, and even thereafter. So networking is something which will definitely take you places for getting internships, even for getting a job. The third is the publishing of research papers. So publishing research papers is of course extremely important because tomorrow if you apply for a job to me, I will only ask you a sample of your written work. That give me something that you have written before. I need to see your drafting skills. And even for your LLM, it's going to play a very, very important role. And for everything, I mean, wherever if a person has to make a decision about you, he or she needs to know whether you are good at writing or not, and that will only happen if you have some research papers, publications in your to your credit, because that will be, and depending on what journals are publishing your work, that will of course add an extra advantage. The other thing that I'll tell you, which is another very interesting, which a lot of senior lawyers and judges have in their interviews said, that visits to court is a very important thing. Now you'll think, why visit court? So the thing is that whatever you have learned in 5 years in law school, you may be able to learn in 5 months merely by sitting in court of law. If you are seeing matters, if you sit in a courtroom And if you're seeing a judge deciding original matters, because moot courts are very different from the real courts, and you will only get to learn when you will see your role models, those legal veterans, maverick, arguing before the court, trying to make a point, how they, argue a weak point, and how court is giving indulgence, what are court crafts, what are the court manners. All of these things you can only understand when you see it happening in front of you. Nobody can tell you. Me or your college will not be able to tell you. So I think courts will teach you a lot. If you are sitting in a court of law from morning to evening, just try it once, give it a try. Sit in a court since morning till evening. It might be boring initially, but and take notes when people are arguing. You'll see how the top lawyers of the country are arguing. You'll learn from them. So that is a quality which you will understand how to convince a judge, when to stop, how much time to take, how to present your best argument. All that you can only learn if you visit courts. The next thing which I feel is very relevant is online courses. It's become very competitive, and there are so many law colleges, and that's why I feel that it is extremely important that you have a very heavy CV. By heavy CV, I mean that you should have as many stars as you can get. So all these things that I'm telling you, they are in fact like 5 stars, 6 stars, 7 stars to your CV. So one activity is going to add one more star. So I think that online courses is also something that you can do now, especially everything is virtual post-COVID. See this as a blessing in disguise. You can do courses from Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge, Yale. In fact, you can do internships, virtual internships in foreign law firms. It's an excellent opportunity to get it on your CV. Try to apply. Many people are getting internships. Virtual internships are the new thing. Things you never imagined before can happen virtually. You can sit here and do an internship in Singapore. You can do multiple internships, in fact, at the same time. Though I would not recommend it, I would recommend you to do justice to one place and give your 100%, because you may have a bright chance of getting a absorption, replacement offer from there. So online courses are very important. In fact, PG diploma and all in ADR or in mediation, in IPR, whatever your subject is, you may do additional courses in addition to your law degree, which will show that you have been interested in this subject for a long time. Now, public legal events, like I already mentioned that networking is super important, and these events which keep happening. For instance, if I'm in arbitration, I see a conference happening by CIAC, ICC. Even if I'm a student, I will register for it and I will attend it. They're all for free, and you will get to learn a lot, and everybody from the fraternity will be present. So that is your golden chance of making a face value, and people will start seeing you. If you attend every conference, you'll see the same number of people again and again, and people will start recognizing you. So that's an excellent thing to do. Now, moot courts, of course. Moot courts are, I think, extremely important in law school because mooters are treated like gods in law schools. If you're a good mooter, all the juniors will look up to you and they'll follow you. So for popularity, of course, that's a very good thing which everybody craves in law school. And the other thing is that mooting will teach you how to think on your feet, immediately answering and responding, and how to experience the law, how to implement it. Like I said, no teacher or no book can teach you the implementation part. And when you're given a set of facts, how do you apply law to that? Which no book can, or any course can tell you. It is only when you actually do it yourself, you will understand. So application of law is the most important thing, which I think moot courts can do best for you. And it gives you a lot of confidence to argue before a court. Though it's fictitious, it's not as good as the real court, but that's the best you can do in a law school. So never miss on an opportunity to do moot courts in law college. Now, the other things which I'll tell you is debating. Debating also plays a very important role. Manjula ma'am had organized a parliamentary debate with me, and I think it was an excellent opportunity for the students also to learn. So the good thing about debating extempore is that it makes you super confident, and you are given 1 minute perhaps before extempore to prepare on a topic and speak. Similarly, in debates, that some of the topics are extremely difficult to speak on. They're very, something you cannot even think about, but that brings out the best in you, the creativity in you. So I think debating also plays a very important role, of course, not as important as moot courts. So these are the broad lines on which I feel law students must focus during law school. And if you are focused on a particular area of subject of law, for instance, criminal law, then all these things should be in that direction. You do all your internship with criminal lawyers. you do all these courses in criminal law. You prepare all your research papers on criminal law, like bail, white collar crimes, etc., etc. These conferences which you attend, you should go for only those conferences which are on criminal law. So when I look at your CV, it should be super impressive. You have done everything in criminal law, all your internships, your moot courts also on criminal law. So you just focus on one area. Do not try to delve into everything, because you know you cannot be master of all, but you need to have that kind of expertise. As a law student also, you can develop that the way I am telling you.